Oh God, we're not talking about the business. We are very versatile, and when it comes to something, we can pass me. Because we have done cross the border already, you know, we've got everything there. Stop us in the
Yeah, I am a man, up in the air. And I run around this town and act like I don't care. So when you see me flying by the planet's moon, you don't need to explain if everything's changed, just know I'm just like you.
Let's travel back 239 years to where we're standing right now. On September 5th, 1774, the First Continental Congress was held here at Carpenter's Hall.
The Carpenters Company was founded in 1724, and this hall, the Carpenters Hall, was built in 1770 as a meeting place also available for rent, which showcased the carpenters' artistic detail. This was the largest rentable space in Philadelphia and remained so for many years.
Robert Smith, a Scottish architect known widely throughout Philadelphia, was credited with the design of Carpenter's Hall. The two-story building was built in the style of Georgian architecture. Carpenter's Hall was one of Smith's last and arguably finest achievements, as he died in the winter of 1777 while building fortifications in the Revolutionary War.
First used by the Carpenters Company of the City and County of Philadelphia for its annual meetings, this building was commandeered in 1777 by the British. The meetings were not resumed until 1779. Carpenter's Hall was also used by the Library Company, which was founded by Benjamin Franklin in 1771, and they used the second floor, which is right up these stairs. The use of the library was offered in the First Continental Congress, which made it the first Library Congress.
The Continental Congress was hosted in Philadelphia from September 5th to October 26th in 1774. This Congress was a reaction to the Intolerable Acts that had been imposed by British Parliament. In these acts, the British government took control of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, it closed down the Boston ports, it enforced the Quartering Acts, and it also allowed for British residents who were convicted of crimes in the Americas to be tried overseas in Great Britain.
All 13 colonies sent delegates to the First Continental Congress except for Georgia. At the Continental Congress, they discussed their options such as restricting importations from Great Britain, and they also came up with a list of grievances which they brought to King George III's attention. They agreed that if their problems weren't resolved, they'd meet again for a second Congress, which did occur at Independence Hall just 1 year later. Welcome to Independence Hall. In May of 1775, the Second Continental Congress met here to discuss two things. The first, how they were going to take control of the Revolutionary War, and the second, how they were going to organize the Continental Army to defeat the British. The Continental Army that they did eventually establish was run by George Washington.
At the time of the Second Continental Congress, only a few delegates such as Richard Henry Lee and John Adams wanted to completely sever ties with Great Britain.
It wasn't until Thomas Paine's common sense that ordinary citizens wanted to unify.
The Congress met for over a year and finally, on July 2nd, 1776, voted for independence. The document demanded full rights and equality for all human beings.
During the time of the Second Continental Congress, this building was also used to try American citizens.
In this room, the Declaration of Independence was signed by 56 delegates, including prominent historical figures such as John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, and Ben Franklin. George Washington sat in what is now called the Rising Sun armchair in Independence Hall. James Madison reported a now famous quote by Benjamin Franklin saying, "I have often looked at that behind the president without being able to tell whether it was rising or setting, but now I know that it is a rising sun." Freedoms guaranteed by the Declaration have impacted the lives of American citizens throughout history, such as Martin Luther King, Susan B. Anthony, and Abraham Lincoln.
It has also influenced the declarations of other countries, including that of North Vietnam. It was in this house, the Declaration House, formerly known as the Grass House, where Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence.